concept of a la carte, they call it, where you as a consumer want to watch, well, I only want to pay for this channel. That's the only one I like, right? In theory, it sounds good, but let's rip it apart. People who really love sports in the U.S. is maybe between 22 and 25% of the U.S. Those people would pay for ESPN. But if you sold ESPN on an a la carte basis, those 25% of the people would have to pay a pretty astronomical price to equal what happens today. Today, everybody else pays for ESPN, even though they may not watch it. So again, the economic model doesn't work real well. And producing really good content is not cheap. It's very expensive to do. So in some ways, right, this model has allowed diversity in programming. It's allowed the creation of great content, and it's actually a pretty good value for your dollar. You know, the bill you pay, which people don't like, they think it's too high. They don't understand that it's high because of the amount that the cable operator has to pay those content companies, which is quite expensive, right? And it kind of goes to that economic model. Well, it's expensive because it's expensive to create great content. That cost gets passed from the content channel to the cable operator. The cable operator, in turn, has to charge the end consumer. Great content is always going to be a driver, no matter how you distribute it. Distribution is always going to be powerful because you got to get it there. We're in a period of disruption, right? So as distribution methods change, from just television like I grew up with, to now people watching it on their iPads, tablets, you name it, on their phones, that's a distribution methodology change, right? So some of the things you may see is bigger distribution companies drive content to consolidate. Who consolidates? Who gets bought? Does bigger distribution companies drive vertical integration? Comcast is vertically integrated. They own NBC channels, right? They own Pipe. AT&T now owns DirecTV that had the NFL network. Do they get more into content? Does Verizon? Does Charter? And if they do, who do they buy, right? As you know, how far does Netflix go? How far does Apple go? Right? Do they acquire more content? Who do they acquire it from? Do they acquire content companies, right? Winners and losers. So I think in a period of disruption, great opportunity.